This weekend was exciting to say the least. My dad got married, my birthday was on Friday, and as a birthday present, I received a code to test out the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game. When you hear the term technical test, you would assume you would be testing the game servers, checking for balancing issues, and reporting bugs, and that is true, that is what the test was for, but the crazy thing is, I didn't expect any issues during the hours I spent playing the game, and that really surprised me. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, feels like a finished product already, and I am very impressed. In this video, I'm going to not only be sharing my favorite bits of gameplay, but I'm going to be breaking down the matches, ranking the victims and family members I liked playing the best, and talk about the technical details that I'm impressed with. But before we get started, if you haven't already, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on any videos like this in the future. Let's break down the matches for the killers. In this technical test, we were able to play as the original family members, the cook, hitchhiker, and our big bub Leatherface. Our main goal is to kill the victims, but to keep them from escaping before we get to them as well. Your objectives as the family is to secure the property, such as activating and planting traps, removing obstacles that victims could climb out of and get out of your reach, and we also need to collect as much blood as possible so we can feed Grandpa. It doesn't seem like difficult tasks, but they can be. This is the way I played the characters, and I find it helped me stay on top of the victims easier. As the cook, I prioritized my time with listening for the victims. I find his ability vital in finding the victims. I also spent my time knocking down crawl spaces and activating electric traps to help the killing team get to the victims without as much obstacles in the way. And lastly, I just grabbed as much blood as I could. All team members should do this, but I found it especially important for the cook and the hitchhiker. When I used the hitchhiker, I spent my time collecting blood and activating the electric traps as well, but I spent most of my time planting traps. In the family house map in particular, I planted a trap in front of the generator every single time, which you can do in the slaughterhouse as well. And I also planted traps by the exit doors of the house and by the stairs. You want to make sure they're planted in a spot the victims can't sneak around. Lastly, with Leatherface, I kept up with traps, but I avoided collecting the blood in the buckets. He doesn't get much out of it, so I didn't really bother. I focused on sawing down doors and other obstacles to keep the victims at my grasp. As I'm keeping track with those tasks, I ruthlessly hunt for the victims the whole time. Each family member I played felt important and vital to the team, which is so impressive. When people think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, their first thought is Leatherface, and that's okay. He is the most iconic, but the cook and hitchhiker were just as vital in the game as Leatherface. Granted, they are slower and weaker. It'll take more swings to get the killing blow, but it can still be done. Luckily, the hitchhiker can stay on the victim's trail and go through the same crawl spaces as the victims can, and the cook can keep up by listening in and tracking the victim. Let's go over and break down the victim objectives during the matches. We were able to play as Anna, Connie, Sunny, and Leland. The objectives of their game is simple as well: survive and escape the property. If you want to survive, you need to stay quiet and hidden, find useful items such as screwdrivers, bone shards, and healing supplies, unlock exits, and escape the family. It sounds as simple as the family's objectives, but it's not by any means. If anything, it's 10 times harder playing as a victim than it is as playing the family members. Each victim has their own set of stats and a special ability to make things easier. With Sunny, we have his heightened sense where he can pinpoint any nearby sounds. We also have Anna. I unfortunately forgot to get footage of her ability, but it is extremely helpful. Her pain is nothing ability can really help get out of sticky situations. If you're getting your ass kicked by the family, Anna's ability will help her withstand the blows. Leland's lifesaver ability really packs a punch. Almost literally, there's nothing better than putting your full weight and power against a family member and stun them. I've seen some hard trolls with Leland. I'm not one of them myself, but I'd like to be. Lastly, we have Connie. Her focused ability is very helpful when it comes to quickly unlocking doors. Each of the victims are well balanced and fun to play as, but their stats can really make each game different. I've learned with experience, you're not going to be quietly getting items as Leland unless you want to spend almost a minute doing so. Each victim specializes in different scenarios, and it keeps the games interesting. After talking about the game objectives, I'm going to list a character from each side of the scenario I liked playing the most. When it comes to the family, as much as I enjoyed playing Leatherface, I loved playing as the hitchhiker. He's quick as hell, and it doesn't matter what opening you try to slip away from, I could follow your ass and slice and dice until I made the finishing blow. It was a blast. He wasn't as strong, so it did take more hits to take the victim out, but it didn't matter. I got them eventually and finished them off. For the victim side, I had to choose Connie. I'm a stealth-oriented player, and her skill set fits my agenda perfectly. And like I said, with her special ability, I mean, there were times literally where Leatherface or the cook were right by me, and I was like, Jesus Christ, how am I going to get out of here? And luckily, I had the special ability refreshed, and I was able to slip right out. It was a lifesaver for sure. The most important part of this technical test was experiencing the technical side of the game, and it was basically perfect. I didn't experience any server issues with my gameplay, whether that be just me not being in the game at the time. There was any issues, I'm not sure. I did hear a couple people say there were some server issues, but it quickly got fixed. The gameplay was excellent. I'm not entirely sure how many frames I was running at, but I know it was above 60. I only ran into one frame dip, and it was when I was trying to type in the chat, and after I finished, I started running. On a graphical standpoint, this game is stunning. The 2 maps I played on were truly beautiful to be in, and just looking at the maps, it looks so hot. If I were inside the game, I know for a fact I'd be sweating so bad, I'd leave a trail of sweat and get found instantly. Another thing I want to point out is how impressive the lighting is. This game is a true blue stealth-oriented game, far more stealth-oriented than any other asymmetrical horror game I've played in the past. When you're a victim and you hide in the shadows, you're basically invisible. There was a game where my cousin played as Leatherface. He was walking around the victim, I don't know how many times. He had zero clue that there was someone even there. He turned on the light, and Sonny literally just stabbed him with a bone shard. It was hilarious. And it's crazy that the lighting plays such a huge, vital role in this game. When it comes to bugs, I didn't experience any bugs whatsoever. I'm basically saying that there was nothing negative to say on a technical side. Like, it really impresses me that they can create these characters with different stats. I mean, every single character, whether that be a victim or a family member, felt perfectly balanced. They were all equally fun to play as, and that is really impressive. And I haven't had that in a game. I know, especially with their last game, Friday the 13th, there were definitely some characters I hated playing as. But I loved all of them in this. There are some characters I'd rather play as more than the others, but I didn't have a problem with any of these characters, and that is awesome. The technical test of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, was a huge hit and an honest achievement for the folks over at Gun and Sumo Digital. I didn't want to give the test of a game a score, but if I did, this is a perfect score. I hadn't had a single negative experience with this game, and it blows my mind how well this game runs. I don't know how finished this game is, but they could literally release this game the way it is right now, and it would be perfect. I mean, so many people would buy it and play it, and I don't think they would have any issues with it. It looks amazing and plays just the same. This game has the potential to be the best asymmetrical horror game to date, and I truly believe it can do that. I'm excited to play the finished product in August, and I'm excited for the future of the game in general. Did you get a chance to play the tech test? If you have, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any videos like this in the future. And until next time, take it easy, bubs.